Hello and welcome to the Keto Pregnancy and Breastfeeding channel. Today we're going to talk about, is this item even keto? I'm going to go through how to read a label and how to look at an item and tell whether it's keto friendly or not. My name is Holly Garcia. I am a keto mom. I had a successful keto pregnancy and am currently on the ketogenic diet and breastfeeding. I've been doing the keto diet for about 3 years now and have been pregnant or breastfeeding that entire time. So I want to show you the things that I look for. Everybody's going to be different. What works for you isn't going to be the same thing that works for someone else, but I'm going to show you the items that I look for and avoid when I'm looking at a product to see if it's going to be friendly for my diet. So people are dirty keto or strict keto, clean keto, lazy keto. Everyone has different things that work for them, and I'm going to show you what things you might need to look for so that we cover all your bases and make sure that it's friendly for you. So the first thing I do when I pick up an item is to read the ingredients. I look for any sugar, first of all. So sugar comes by a lot of different names. So I'll definitely have to post a link below so you can check out the list of, or you can Google a list of items that are other names for sugar that show up on ingredient lists. So I look for any word that means there's sugar in that item. This is true for any sauces, dressings, but also you have to look for spice mixes. So my husband came home with this beauty hamburger spice mix, and it contains preservatives and sugars and all kinds of things that you wouldn't even think to look for in a spice mix. But also in meats. So things like bacon, most bacon contains sugar. You have to look for a sugar-free or paleo-friendly brand. I usually buy Peterson's, but you want to look on the ingredient list because it might list 0 carbs, 0 sugar if it has less than 1 gram per serving. In the United States, they don't have to list that it listed in the nutrition facts if it's less than that. But it'll show up in the ingredients list. If you can't find an item that's sugar-free, if all your choices, they all contain sugar, then you want to look for the one that's farther down the ingredient list. So obviously you can look for the one that has the least amount of sugar in it, but if they're all 0, then you want to look for the one that has it farthest down the ingredient list. So in the United States and most countries, they list ingredient by weight inside that food item. So the lower on the list, the less amount of that is in there. So you want to look for one that definitely doesn't have a sugar in the top 5. I also look for any ingredients that are starches. And same thing, if you can't find any that are starch or grain free, then you want to look for one that's not listed in the top 5. Really sticking to whole foods, of course, and is going to be your best bet. You don't have to worry about all these things, but in a mom life, things are busy. You got to look for other products that help you out. So that's why I want to show you how to do this. And then the next thing I look for personally is I look for any soy items on the ingredient list as well. So a lot of products will have soybean oil in it, and that's something I avoid. So I look for products that are instead made with avocado oil or coconut oil instead of soybean oil. So I look for any soy products, and I don't buy anything that has soy in it. So those are the ingredients that I look for. The next thing I look on the label for is the carb count. So if you take a look at the nutrition facts, it'll have the carb count, and it'll tell you total carbohydrates. And then it'll list the fiber. So if you're counting net carbs, which you can do, some people do net carbs, some people do total carbs, whatever works for you. If you do total carbs, if you do net carbs, a lot of people will do net carbs for only vegetables or real food items. If you buy like a bar or a protein powder or any keto crackers or keto breads, any keto packaged items, a lot of those products, unfortunately, they'll like sprinkle a bunch of fiber on top just to bring that net carb count down. And that's not exactly how it works in the body most of the time. So any item like that, I count total carbs on. And any real food, like if I'm counting an avocado, I'll subtract the fiber from the total carbs and I'll just count the net carbs on that. So this is the marinara sauce. It just has tomatoes, salt, spices, and herbs in it. So I would count the net carbs on this. So I'd take the total carbs and subtract the dietary fiber, and that would give me the net carb count on this. A lot of people, if sugar alcohol doesn't bother you and you're buying a product like chocolate chips that includes sugar alcohols in it, then you could also subtract the sugar alcohol from the total carb count, and that would give you the net carb count. And the third thing I look for on the label is the serving size. So especially when you're in the grocery store and you're comparing one item to a similar item and you're trying to figure out which is the best choice, be sure you're checking the serving size for that item. So this one's 1/2 a cup. So I know there are 10 grams of total carbs, 2 grams of fiber, so that's 8 grams of net carb, and I know it's in 1/2 a cup. So I can compare that to another product that might be on the shelf. If it has a serving size of 1/2 a cup, I would choose the one that has less net carbs in it as the best choice. So see whatever works for you for the keto that is works for your body, but you might want to count total carbs, or you might want to avoid things like soy or avoid things like sugar alcohols in order to get the results that you're looking for. I hope that's helpful. If you have any other questions about how to tell if an item is keto friendly, post them in the comments below. Thanks.